Same old thing, so am I about this Bible, but y'all don't think it's Bible. See me, I'm a dead man walking, check my Bible. Your righteousness is everlasting righteousness, and your law is the truth. That's why I do what I do, trying to walk, talk, act, look, and be like you. And if it comes down to it, I would shed blood too, for this truth. It's automatic. I imagine everyone that hate Christ standing in a straight line at judgment time, getting put to death, and I ain't trying to be next to lose my soul cause I second guessed, or came in truth and left, or just succumbed to my temptation. I wasn't ready yet. I'm a truth speaker, line after line, out here trying to wake our people up. I'm on the grind, swords sharp, ready for war, camp 130 deep, we on it, boy. I'm a truth speaker, line after line, out here trying to wake my people up. I'm on the grind, swords sharp, ready for war, camp 130 deep. Y'all keep on living in your fairy tales very well. Y'all gonna wake up and realize that this was dragon tales. The real version, sky gon' crack open, you'll be looking real nervous. Too late, that gon' get to burn. Waiting friends, stranger pair. Never raised that for 9, didn't care. That's on you. What I say, I'ma stick with these commandments. I don't play. Swords sharp, ready for war. I'm a truth speaker. Need I say more? Christ coming, what y'all folks getting ready for? Season boys, hey, y'all gon' burn right up with them, boy. That's to you Christians and you fools that choose to listen to your slave masters over the scriptures. Get the big picture. Christ ain't coming back with lollipops and candy canes. He's coming back to punish these nations. This is not a game. I'm a truth speaker, line after line, out here trying to wake our people up. I'm on the grind, swords sharp, ready for war, camp 130 deep, we on it, boy. I'm a truth speaker, line after line, out here trying to wake my people up. I'm on the grind, swords sharp, ready for war, camp 130 deep, we on it, boy.
An exceeding great army, and we standing on our feet. Ain't no way in hell these brothers here is gonna accept defeat. We ready for war on the battlefield, standing strong. I don't believe you understand, this is not another song. We marching in, hide it, hide it, hide it, hide. Everybody looking, yes, the Israelites is not. We marching and singing, people wondering where we from. We setting up camp, yes, the battle has begun. Now we in the spirit, ain't no stopping. We can feel the scriptures running through our veins, breaking down these mental chains, preaching that our people change, giving them medicine for their brains. Even though these Christians scoffing, we cutting them, we're the coffins. We do this so often, dropping bombs, Boston. Christians can't keep up, chariots, we lost them. Now it's time, did what we came for. Now the whole world know that we ready for war.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahushai, and greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered abroad. My name is Yachanan Maccabeus.
My name is Cherokee.
This is Mikael.
And today's lesson is prophecy of the Feast of Maccabees in Daniel. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through this Bible and we're going to show you in fact that the Feast of Maccabees is a true feast. And we're going to show you the prophecy of this feast to come in the book of Daniel. And what we're going to do first is we're going to read the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32.
John chapter 8, verse 32. For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the book of Daniel. For those who don't know, who don't subscribe to the Apocrypha, we're going to show you that, in fact, using the book of Daniel, that the Apocrypha is a true book, and it's a part of the wholeness and the fulfillment of prophecy in the Bible. From there, we're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 10.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go line upon line, here a little and there a little, and we're going to show you the Feast of Maccabees in this Bible. We're going to show you the Feast of Maccabees in Apocrypha, and we're going to show you coming Salakia to fruition. What we're going to do is we're going to start in the book of Daniel, and we're going to read chapter 8 and verse 9. We're going to start at verse 1, chapter 8, verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Balthazar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first.
So Daniel's revealing a vision that the Most High showed him under the 3rd year of the kingdom Belshazzar.
And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan, in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted up my eyes, and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last.
Okay, so the ram represents nations, the Medo-Persian Empire. He said that one horn was higher than the other because the Persian Empire was the greater empire than the Medes.
I saw the ram pushing westward, and northward, and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. But he did according to his will, and became great.
And we know that the Medo-Persian Empire was the next empire after the Babylonian Empire. They conquered the whole world, and it was unstoppable at the time.
And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
So this is talking about the next superpower after the Medo-Persian, which was the Grecian Empire. And they was unstoppable force.
Verse 6, and he came to the ram, and had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power.
So this is talking about the Medo-Persian Empire combating the Grecian Empire. We'll see what happens in the next following verse.
Verse 7, and I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
So it's talking about when the Grecian Empire under Alexander the Great met the Persian Empire couldn't stop them at all. They was unstoppable, and the Greek Empire demolished the Persian Empire.
Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up for notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven.
So we know that when Alexander was at the height of his power, he died at a young age from like syphilis or some kind of nasty disease he had because he was a so-called homosexual. And that his kingdom was divided unto his 4 generals, which was Cassander, Ptolemy, Seleucus, and Antigonus.
Verse 9, and out of the one of them came 4, a little horn which waxed exceeding great, toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land.
So this is talking about Antiochus Epiphanes, and this is where it picks up in 1 Maccabees. We're going to go into that. So it says that the little horn invaded, pushed towards the south and towards the east. The south is Egypt. 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 16.
The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 16. Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen. and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. Verse 20. And after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude.
Okay, so it's just like the prophecy in Daniel, he pushed towards the south, and he even pushed towards the pleasant land, which is Israel. And he pushed towards the east also. Let's pull up that precept for the east, which is 1 Maccabees chapter 3, starting at verse 27.
The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 3, verse 27. Now when King Antiochus heard these things, he was full of indignation. Wherefore he sent and gathered together all the forces of his realm, even a very strong army.
Now skip to verse 31.
Verse 31. Wherefore, being greatly perplexed in his mind, he determined to go into Persia, there to take the tributaries, the tributes of the countries, and to gather much money. So he left Lysias, a nobleman and one of the blood royal, to oversee the affairs of the king from the river Euphrates unto the borders of Egypt.
That's what we needed right there to show that the south beneath that this king Antiochus Epiphanes was pushing towards was Egypt and Persia. And we want to show how Israel's the pleasant land. Let's look at Psalms chapter 106, starting at verse 22.
The book of Psalms, chapter 106, verse 32.
Or start at 22 to 24.
Okay, Salakia. The book of Psalms, chapter 106, verse 22. Wondrous works in the land of Ham, and terrible things by the Red Sea. Therefore he said that he would destroy them, had not Moses, his chosen, stood before him in the breach to turn away the wrath, lest he should destroy them. Yea, they despise the pleasant land, they believe not his words.
So this is talking about when Moses sent out the 12 spies into the promised land to scout out, and they saw the giants and the big, strong fortified cities. They got discouraged and believed that the Most High wasn't able to give them the promised land. So that's what it's saying in Psalms, is repeating, saying that they despise the pleasant land, because the 10 out of the 12 tribes, 10 out of the 12 spies were discouraged from what they saw in the promised land and thought that the Most High didn't have the power to give it to them. So they despised the pleasant land, which is in Israel. Back to Daniel 8, starting at verse 10.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 10. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them.
So he became powerful, and he went into Israel. He trampled the Israelites that wouldn't forego the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. He casting down the righteous saints to the ground. He destroyed them.
Verse 11. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down.
So let's look at Daniel chapter 11, verse 36. Another precept for what it means to magnify himself to the
I have a precept of that too.
okay. We'll bring that into
The book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 6.
36.
36, Salakia. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation is be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done.
Another interesting note is that Antiochus, the name Antiochus Epiphanes means God manifested.
I was about to say that too. I want to bring out a precept to that in 1 Maccabees, and we're going to start at verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Ye many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Salaki, so ain't that what the Christian church is doing today? They're resolving themselves against the Most High, saying that forsake the Most High's laws and profane the Sabbath.
Verse 44. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judea, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
So he had them bring in swine and unclean beasts into the temple, where you're supposed to sacrifice clean meats like your cows, lambs, goats, sheep. Instead, they was bringing abominable sacrifices in the temple.
Verse 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinance. And whosoever would not do according to the commandments of the king, he said he should die.
And that goes back to casting down the host of the stars. If you did forsake the Most High's laws to obey the king's law, you would die.
Yup, and that's the king right there, proving the precept, him exalt himself above the God of God, the Most High. Can we finish reading 11?
Yes. Or back to Daniel, wait.
Okay. The book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 11. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down, and an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered.
So what was cast down to the ground?
The truth was cast down to the ground, and it practiced and prospered of their kingdom when the transgressors are come to the full of king of a fierce countenance, and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but now by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
Who's the holy people? Let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy God. Yahweh thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people upon the face of the earth. So let's talk about the Israelites.
That's right.
Verse 25.
Verse 25. And though his policy also he shall cause crowds to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the princes, princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
So how was Antiochus broken without hand? Let's look at 2 Maccabees chapter 9, verse 5.
The book of 2 Maccabees.
That's like his Antiochus, he didn't fear nobody. He didn't fear the Most High. He didn't have no respect for his chosen people. He didn't have respect for the temple or the holy articles in there. So he was a marked man for judgment, and we're going to show you how Most High brought judgment on Antiochus.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 5, verse 9.
Or chapter 9, verse 5.
Salakia, chapter 9, verse 5. But the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, smote him with an incurable and invisible plague. For as soon as he had spoken these words, a pain of the bowels that was remediless came upon him, and sore torments of the inner parts.
So the Most High struck him with an incurable disease. Verse 6.
Verse 6. And that most justly, for he had tormented other men's bowels with many and strange torments.
Keep going.
Howbeit, he nothing at all ceased from his bragging, but still was filled with the pride, breathing out fire in his rage against the Jews.
So you're still filled with pride.
And commanding to haste the journey. But it came to pass that he fell down from his chariot, carried violently, so that having a sore fall, all the members of his body were much pain.
Okay, keep going.
And thus he that a little afore thought he might command the waves of the sea, so proud was he beyond the condition of man, and weighed the high mountains in a balance, was now cast on the ground and carried in a horse litter, showing forth unto all the manifest power of God.
Wait, what was this mighty man, powerful man carried in?
And thus he that a little aforetime thought he might command the waves of the sea, so proud was he beyond the condition of man, and weighed the high mountains in a balance, was now cast on the ground and carried in horse litter.
Horse litter.
Showing forth unto all manifest power of God.
Verse 9. It keeps on going.
So that the worms rose up, and of the body of his wicked man, of this wicked man, and whilst he lived in sorrow and in pain, his flesh fell away, and the filthiness of his smell was noisome to all his army.
Verse 10.
And the man that thought a little afore he could reach to the stars of heaven, no man could endure to carry his intolerable stink.
So the Most High had the last laugh at this prideful, wicked man.
That's
where
right.
he struck his bowels of a tormentuous, incurable disease, and he was on his way to do more wickedness, and he fell out of his chariot, and he wasn't able to finish his mission. He said that his body was so stench that no man could be near him. I want to bring out Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. It says, "Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." So you can't be prideful against the Most High. You're a marked person when you do that.
That's right.
That's why it's important to be humble and to fear God and keep His commandments. That's the duty of man.
That's right.
Right.
And you will not escape judgment, no matter how good your situation seems at the time. Let me bring out Galatians 6:7 also real quick. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 says, "Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." So the Bible says that vengeance is mine, so we don't got to take vengeance on our enemies. We ask the Most High to take vengeance.
That's right.
And he brought this mighty man down to his knees.
That's right. Leave room for the Most High's wrath. That's right.
All right, Daniel chapter 8, verse 26.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 26. And the vision of the evening and the morning was told is true. Wherefore shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. And I, Daniel, fainted, and was sick certain days afterward. I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it.
Yeah, because we know in Amos says that Most High reveals his secrets but to his servants.
That's right.
So not everybody's going to understand the Bible today, but the people that have a spiritual mind. I want to read an excerpt from Josephus where he gives his breakdown on Daniel 8:2 and shows how the prophecies were manifested. This is Josephus, Antiquity of the Jews, chapter 10, book 11, section 7. And it says, Daniel wrote that he saw these visions in the plain of Susa, and he have informed us that the Most High interpreted the appearance of this vision after the following manner. He said that the ram signified the kingdoms of the Medes and the Persians, and the horns, those kings that were to reign in them. And that the last horn signified the last king that should exceed all the kings in riches and glory. That the he-goat signified that one should come and reign from the Greeks, who should twice fight with the Persians and overcome him in battle, and should receive his entire dominion. That by the great horn which sprang out the forehead of the he-goat was meant the first king, and that the springing up of the four horns upon his falling off, and the conversion of every one of them to the four quarters of the earth, signified the successors that should arise after the death of the first king, and that the partition of the kingdom among them, and that they should be neither his children nor his kindred that should reign over the habitable earth for many years, and that from among them there should arise a certain king that should overcome our nation and their laws, and should take away our political government, and should spoil the temple and forbid the sacrifices to be offered for 3 years' time. And indeed, it shall come to pass that our nation suffered these things under Antiochus Epiphanes, according to Daniel's vision, and what he wrote many years before they came to pass, in the very same manner Daniel wrote concerning the Roman government, and that our country should be made desolate by them. So that's this excerpt from Josephus, chapter 10, section 11, which lines up with what we brought out earlier concerning Daniel 8.
That's right.
And also Daniel 8, which another reason I wanted to bring it out, that it validates the Apocrypha for those that don't have faith strong enough to believe the Apocrypha, because your so-called theologians and scholars say that this isn't inspired by the Most High.
Some of your apologetics and the visions right there in Daniel for you. And they taking this history out so you wouldn't know this history.
Yeah, you cannot understand Daniel 8 without going into the Apocrypha, first the story of the Maccabees.
That's right.
It lines up to a T.
That's right.
So quit trying to say that the little horn in Daniel 7 is the same as the little horn in Daniel 8. Those are two different empires. The little horn in Daniel 7 came from the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire, and the little horn in Daniel 8 came from the Greek Empire, which is the third beast.
That's right.
So it's important to rightly divide the word. Study to show yourself approved unto the Most High and rightly divide the word.
That's right. That's what you better do. Keep looking for yourself. Don't just take somebody's word. Because Pastor Porkchop gonna lie to you.
That's right. And it's sad there's even Israelite congregations too that reject the Apocrypha. I don't even know how they consider themselves in the truth and they don't even have the Apocrypha.
Yeah, especially when the Most High said they come in the volume of the book and they take it away from the book.
That's right.
And if you can't read, I believe, always keep in mind, the Most High, God, Almighty, Yahuwah, is the most supreme forever and ever.
Amen.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
I want to bring out James 1 real quick also. James chapter 1 verse 5, I believe it is. It says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given.
That's right.
So if you lack wisdom, ask the Most High to give you an understanding so you can go into your pocket, go into the Josephus, so you can rightly divide the word of the Most High.
That's right. And I hope that gave you an understanding of the vision of Daniel. I mean, it was very, very, very complex right there what we gave you. And we hope it was great for you for your edifying purposes. You know? Anything else you want to bring up?
Well, we know this is the season of Feast of Dedication, or also known as Hanukkah. So we wish all the Ox and the Codys out there that's keeping the feast, wish you a happy Feast of Dedication.
That's right. Happy Feast of Maccabees, y'all. And we want to say thank you for watching, you know. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching us everywhere. Everybody in the States, everybody in Nigeria, everybody in Ghana. We want to say God bless you all, you know what I mean? May the Most High remove the spirit of slumber for those who don't know this truth, you know? And with that, we want to say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Oh, hold on.
What I have for the world is the whole world today is witnessing from the whole, both from north, south, east, and west. The whole world is witnessing what is happening, and the whole world have to bear the true presence of the Most High God.
That's right.
That's right.
Let's see. And the whole world have to wake up and remember ourselves. We have been lying for long. So let's wake up and let the truth set us free in God's name, in the Most High Jehovah's name.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
All praises to the Most High.
Oh, praise to the Most High.
In the name of Yahweh.
Always.
Kwum Yasharala! That's right, and y'all enjoy your feast.
Hukum apembaba jinyame. My name is Nana Akosi. I'm from Ghana and I can Ashanti. We say, except God,
That's right.
only God, in the name of the Most High. God bless all children of Israel.
That's right.
And those who believe in the name of the children, the God of the children of Israel, God shall favor.
That's right.
Around the whole world.
That's right.
All praise.
right.
All praises.
All praises.
All praises. Yo, y'all, thanks for watching. Hit the button so you can finish.
Oh yeah.